Yeah, yeah.
They could get burned.
All right. All right, all right, all right. Hello, everyone.
Morning,
Got a couple
Nick.
of us. Hey, hey, how is everyone? There's a lot of you in here this week. Oh my goodness. All right. Tanya, hello. What's happening? Candy, good to have you back. Fonda, hello. Wendy and Katie and Roberta, good to see you. Oh, we got one more coming in here. All right. Anne, hello. Yvette, great to see you. Looking forward to catching up more this week. That's right. There we go. Thumbs up. Mary, Nan, Nikki, Cindy, Roy, what's happening? Aloha there, you go. Jackie. Oh man, Evelyn. Evelyn brought a friend. Hello, Evelyn's friend. Claire. All right. Welcome everyone to February's Masterwork Practice Hour. I've got a great one for you this week that I'm really excited to work on, one that I haven't studied myself in a long time. Real quick, I just want to share two things with you all. First off, um, just friendly reminder on my website, if you are looking for personalized feedback, individualized guidance on some recent work of yours, I offer free mini critiques. Okay. So if you visit ncvelleman.com, just scroll to the bottom of the page that you land on. You can use this form right here to reach out to me, and we'll set up a time to chat and look at your work for 30, 40 minutes or so. All right. And then the other thing, of course, with the Leo Marchutz School, I am going to Venice. Okay. I will be teaching watercolors to anyone who wants to practice watercolors in the city of water, Venice, Italy. So we'll be going for about 10 days in the second half of April, and I'd love to see you there. If you feel like you want to take your painting practice to new horizons, to new continents, even to new motifs, and um, cityscapes and architecture, this is a great way to do that alongside other traveling artists. All right, so without further delay, let me get the image up here and we can start drawing. And I realized that nope, not that big of a deal. I can do it another way. All right, so let me share my screen and get my desk up here so that you all can start drawing from this Toulouse-Lautrec. There we go. So on the left,
Mhm.
maybe some of you are familiar with this bather image. All right. Hmm. Feel free to get started.
Nick, is this oil or pastel or
This is an oil
gouache?
painting. It's an oil
Okay.
painting. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's an oil painting by Toulouse-Lautrec. All right, everyone. So a lot of us have done this already, but I'm just going to go over the guidelines again for any newcomers who are joining us, any new faces here. So this is a practice session, all right? Not a class. There's no planned lesson. There's nothing that you need to grasp or achieve. This is just time and space to work together. When working from a masterwork, such as this on the left, all right, the goal isn't to make a copy. The goal isn't to make a forgery. The goal isn't to make a replica. Have your own experience with the image, right? Focusing on key relationships that you see and create a parallel image with your own touch. All right. I will share insights from my process as we go. So it can still be a learning opportunity. Feel free to ask me questions. All right. Um, However, If you are not sharing something or asking me a question, I ask that you please stay muted to reduce any background noise. If you are in the zone and you just want to work, you're welcome to mute me as well. Finally, special thank you to our returning participants who regularly contribute. This monthly practice hour is offered free to our community. If you'd like to support the mission of the Leo Marchutz School of Painting and Drawing, donations can be made at the link I will put in the chat in just a moment. So you all work away. Oop, sorry. I'll have to get the links to you. Actually, no, I think I could do it this way. So there's a couple links for you all there. Now let me put this away and start drawing with you all. Get rid of that. And actually, I'm going to do actually. Right. So, how do I want to draw this? So I will admit with you all, I am on my third class or art program of the day. I've been at it. In the wintertime, I tend to be especially busy. So right now with this image, I feel like playing around a little bit. I kind of feel like I need to break out of some of the techniques or methods that I'm typically teaching and sharing. So I might try something a little more experimental, you could say. So let's see what I got here. I'm going to take a pencil. Actually, no, I'm going to take a graphite stick. So I'm going to start with an HB graphite stick. And I think something I've been playing with for another class that I'm currently planning is continuous line drawing. I don't know if any of you are familiar with that, but the idea is you try to draw something um, without lifting your pencil, okay? And I've been playing with that to create a program that I'm running here in Dublin to help a group of people build a habit of drawing, but drawing as an alternative to meditation. So what I'm going to have them do is I'm going to have them warm up and begin with just some continuous line drawing. Some people call it contour drawing. And yeah, I think I want to start with that for right now. Something different that makes me feel like I'm not quite in art teacher mode, just temporarily at least. So let me actually do this. All right. So I will begin with a rectangle. Actually, no, screw that. I'm just going to get started. So I'm looking right at the back of her head here. And I just want to draw her hair. And we'll see how long I can keep this up. Who knows? I might get tired and then I may find a different way to work with what I've done. But I don't know. I feel the need to get started with drawing in a different way than what I am used to. So here it is. I knew today with you all I wanted to do a figure. Sometimes I avoid doing figures for these because people get kind of intimidated by them, which I understand, especially portraits, where you have to get the likeness of someone's face. But here, well, one, we don't see her face. She's not facing us, so that helps. That might take some of the pressure off. I was considering doing some Vermeers with us. I think I finished a class this afternoon where we were drawing from some of Vermeer's paintings. We were looking at some of Vermeer's paintings and drawing from them. And I really, really like him. I'm growing more and more fond of him the more I learn about him. But girl with a pearl earring or girl with a red hat, um, I don't know. I wasn't I wasn't quite ready to bring that into this practice session. So I was going through my folder of images, and this is what I landed on, and I'm quite pleased with it actually. One of my earliest memories studying at the Marchutz School was doing a copy of this painting, a life-size copy of this painting in oil. It was a lot of fun. I remember having a lot of fun playing with the light on her back. All right, so here I am around her boot or her stocking, maybe. I'm not sure what that is on her leg, but it's rather dark. Probably one of the darkest things in the image, in fact. Maybe I won't worry right now about getting the darkness perfect, but let me just keep moving around the image. Ooh. Right. So I'm expanding out from the figure. I'm now looking at this chair in the top right corner. Again, haven't lifted my pencil, just working my way around, whatever direction of line or shape my eye picks up or my eye sees, and try to get that down on my paper. Oh, picked it up for a moment. Just for a moment, put it back down. I can feel like the muscle underneath my thumb getting tired from gripping this so long, but I'm determined to get, one way around the whole drawing and then might find another pencil to continue this with. I think I will let that go. Oh, no, I think I'm gonna find a way to travel actually back down to the bottom right here. Yeah, let me get some of this in. Okay. All right. So that's how I'm gonna start this. Not bad. All right. So let me have a sip of water. So now that I've got some composition, okay, I'd like to start sculpting it a little bit more with some lights and darks. So I also have this graphite stick, okay, which is a little more of a stick. This is a 2B. So let's see what needs to be darker. And instead of working continuous line, I'm going to be a little more, um, I guess, intentional with my mark making. But I think there's a way to bring out some of the values here. So like all of this dark, this rug that she's sitting on, I really want to darken it. I know that's going to help bring this image together. I think I'm just so in the mindset of doing things as continuous lines now. I'm even doing this shading as a continuous line, which was not the goal, but it's working nonetheless. Nevertheless, excuse me. Some very light strokes on her back, just the shape. Give some shape and volume to her body. All right, and then from here, I think I'm gonna go. There we go. All right, I'm gonna switch to a normal pencil now, 4B. Now that I have everything arranged and I've sort of pushed things to light and dark, sort of, I don't want to say haphazardly. How do I say this? I've done like a general sculpting of the scene with with light and dark. I'm going to come in with a pencil now. So this is a 4B, the softest lead I've worked with yet. And I'm going to slow down now and try and, with some hatch marks, bring a little more articulation to certain parts of the image. This is the foundation. What I'm going to be doing for the rest of the time is just layering on top of what I already have. So, looking at this now, I'm really curious for those of you working in color. I'm not working in color, but for those of you who are, there's so much color happening in that cloth on the ground there. So many oranges and greens and reds and blues. There's a lot to see there. All right, getting there. Getting there. This is starting to feel a little more grounded. Down here, maybe I could do a little more. The cloth. But little by little, getting there. All right, getting there slowly but surely. I think I'm going to keep working around this top third of the image. Um, with these hash marks that I'm doing. Zoom in a touch. All right, so um, Oh, almost. I'm gonna have to find a way to get something, make a mark that's even darker than what I'm making now. I feel like I'm sort of pushing against the sort of the upper boundary of how dark I can get things, and I can already tell, even despite all the work I'm doing, um, I may need to bring some extra dark marks in certain places just to give a little more articulation to what's going on here. Right. So I think I'm going to take a second before I just keep making marks all over the place, even though I can already see areas that I need to make darker. I think I would benefit from putting my pencil down for a moment and just seeing what I've got so far. Okay. So what can I do? I'll go back to my 4B. That's the softest lead I have on my desk right now. And there are definitely some things on the left side of the body that I need to address. I'd love to have the edge of the cloth where it meets the floor here. And I already have this dark, but I want to have sort of the edge of the cloth there. So I'm going to I'm going to embellish the edge just like that. But I might also put a little more shading there. And maybe the bottom, this fold that's dark, in the cloth right here. And maybe the foot of this chair. I'd love to have that be a little more prominent. So there's this chair here. Okay, I'm trying to get that space that goes underneath the chair and maybe a little bit this shoulder as well. And also the hair in the side of the head. I want to embellish that contour for sure. Okay. Almost. So right now I'm kind of just doing one slow lap around my whole image, trying to find the last moments of really dark that I want to embellish, sort of emphasize to bring some final articulation to what's quite honestly a rather complex composition. The figure, the cloth that sort of swirls beneath her, the two chairs on either side of her head. I picked a hard one today. All right, and let's see if I can get a little more darkness into her leg here. So just a heads up, everyone. We'll keep working for about 10 more minutes. Okay? 10-ish more minutes on this image. So just the last couple of balance things for me. So for example, I look at the left side, her torso here. This is going to be this dark. Then this negative space between her arm and the top of her thigh, I think needs to be a little bit darker. So I'll just take my stick again here and lightly brush inside that shape, not to make marks necessarily, but just to layer up some of the darkness there. Some more darkness there. That's more like it. And maybe a little bit here, like this whole shape is very bright. Okay, this horizontal right next to her head in my image, but I think I need to push it a little bit darker so that her body stands out even more. So I might just take, again, this little stick and rub in some more graphite there to tone down that brightness. Don't want it to be dark necessarily, but I do want to bring down a little bit of that brightness so that her shoulder blades here really start emerging out a little bit more. And I could do the same here, the ground, for the chair. So looking at it, the only thing I regret, I can't say, oh, maybe regret's not the right word, but looking at it, I kind of wish I had a better way of distinguishing this basin from her head. Okay. I only have different shades of light and dark to try and distinguish where the basin, where the her hair ends and the interior of that basin begins. Maybe I can embellish the face a little bit. That might help. Okay. In color, there's a really great warm and cool relationship happening here. There's an orange right next to a blue. So even though that's all very close together in value, there's a massive, there's a complementary pair right there that distinguishes those two from one another. But in drawing, it's a little more difficult. A wee bit more difficult. All right, everyone, how about just 2 or 3 more minutes left with this image? Then we'll take a group screenshot real fast, and then we'll call it a practice session. I think this is where I'm going to leave my drawing. Not bad, especially for something that started as just a squiggly line. That's kind of a fun way to get started. All right, everyone, let's start wrapping up the part of the image we are working on. Pretty happy with how mine turned out. Oh, I gotta admit, excuse me, everyone, I gotta admit, third session of the day. Just feeling pretty tired going into it, but sometimes when you just don't overthink it and just plow forth, um, you can really surprise yourself with what you get done. I think what helped me was starting in a way that didn't feel typical for me. I think that sort of helped me get in the mindset that I'm just playing around and that I don't need to take this super seriously. It's just practice, just a way to keep warm, to exercise my vision. And yeah, it's pretty good study. All right, everyone, I'm going to remove the image, okay? And then I'm going to kindly ask that all of you hold up yours, and then I'd love to take one quick screenshot of what you got. Oop. Beautiful. Oh yeah, lots of watercolor. Okay, Yvette drew, very nice. Mary drew as well. Wendy, Corey, Claire, love the drawings. All right, keep them up, everyone. Yeah, nice, Tanya. All right, very good. Beautiful. All right, everyone. Thank you so much. Thank you all so much. Um, Oh man, I forgot to go to the next slide. I had another slide. Okay, the other slide was just to show you the date for the next one, but I'll just tell it to you. March
Oh,
15th. All right. March 15th will be the next one at 11 a.m. Eastern. If you're signed up for my practice memos on my website, you'll get the Zoom registration link. So no need to mark it down now, but I usually like to give people a heads up. Anyways, mini critiques on my website. Okay, go to Venice with the Leo Marchutz School. Check those links out in the chat. As always, thank you all for showing up. It's great to have so many of you here. All right, great to share some drawing time together. You've already accomplished something today on your Sunday. Okay, so now you can just lazy about and vegetate for the rest of your weekend.
no
Um,
way.
I look forward to seeing you all next month. Okay, if not sooner. Anyways,
March
until then,
15th Central or March 15th Eastern?
March 15th worldwide, but 11 a.m. Eastern.
11 a.m. Eastern. Thank you. Worldwide. Got it. Thank
Yeah,
you.
yeah, yeah, of course. All right.
Thank
Take care,
you.
everyone. I'll see you next
All
Bye-bye.
time.
right, thank you.